Hey everyone, welcome to Skincare Recommendations by Comets VS. I'm Arunima, and my teammates Vidhi and Shruti and I will be presenting our skincare recommendation system, and these will be based on products from The Ordinary. So to begin, getting into skincare can be confusing, as we all know. Like beyond just moisturizing and washing your face sometimes, like getting into skincare, taking care, hydration, emulsifying oil, water-based products, suspensions, like there's so many different things to consider. And then you've got to consider your own skincare needs from, dryness, dullness, hydration, patches, pores, spots. There's so many things. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just tell someone what you wanted and they got it? Well, presenting our skincare recommendation system. To begin, we're going to be inputting Vidhi's skincare needs into our system. And at the end, once it's done running, we'll go ahead and show you. So to begin, Vidhi's concerns are flakiness and low sensitivity, and then she has combination skin. So this is in our file.txt, and our code's going to be running on master.txt. So when we go ahead and rerun this model, it'll be printing into the VidhiRex file. In the meantime, we'll have Shrubs talk about key features of our recommendation system.
All right, thanks, Rima. So basically, our recommendation system has two main features. We have the database and the recommendation. The database basically justifies the logic behind the rules and will kind of define an order of precedence based on common knowledge about certain efficiencies of skincare products, and then define constraints and defaults, which were used as a reference to build the actual recommendation, which allows to recommend a product, not recommend a product, or detect for any contraindications, which we'll go over in a bit. But before we do that, Vidhi will first go over kind of the more detailed aspects of the database file.
Thank you, Shruti. So as Shruti mentioned, our program ranks certain products in order of efficiency and will only recommend a lower efficiency product in case all the products of higher efficiency are being unable to be recommended. So if we look at the database.pl file, if our regimen is pigmentation and we're looking for a water-based product, the product that we recommend to our user is based on the sensitivity level that we input from the user. And if we're unable to recommend any of those acids, the base case in this scenario will be the alpha-arbutamine. With that being said, I'll pass it back to Shruti to explain how the recommendation.pl file works.
Thanks, Vidhi. So the first aspect of the recommendation.pl file is we have our product list, and then we're also able to have certain concerns mapped to certain regimens, or another way of thinking about it would be targets. So if you have flakiness, we know that you probably have a hydration concern, and we're going to recommend products for that, just so that we're able to have more umbrella terms. And if we scroll all the way down, we're able to see some of the things that show up with alpha arbutamine, just to build off of Vidhi's example. The only time we'll recommend alpha arbutamine is if every other option doesn't work. And there are certain constraints on mandelic, lactic, and glycolic based on sensitivity level, and for glycolic oily skin. And again, all these acids will conflict with vitamin C, which we'll go over when we go back to the slides. So again, we have a recommendation ranking system. So when we input this code, it outputs glycolic acid because it's the best possible output, or the best possible efficiency for the input text file that we have. And then when we change some of that and change our sensitivity level to high, the best option we have is mandelic acid. Because glycolic and lactic's needs are not met, we've eliminated the ability to call on those products. So the next best option is mandelic. Also note how it doesn't output alpha arbutamine, because that would just be redundant because it's less efficient. Again, we have detection of contraindication. On the left, it should output mandelic acid, as we had discussed before. On the right, it should output alpha arbutamine. Why is that? It's because when we express concerns for dullness, vitamin C is recommended too. Like we mentioned, vitamin C and any of the acids don't work. So we have to go with alpha arbutin. So we'll never recommend two products which conflict.
So before we end, we want to kind of show you what Vidhi's recs look like. So we see that our code is completed running, and we can now showcase what Vidhi's recommendations would be. And Shruti and I have already previously run our respective skincare needs, and we will be comparing the three. So to begin, Vidhi, her best bets are Buffet and Cooper amino acids and salicylic acid. Now, those are based on Vidhi's needs. For my needs, for example, if we run Kat Arunima's recs, we will see that we will see that for me, the best bets were mandelic acid, Buffett and Cooper, and rosehip oil, because my skincare concerns were more related to itchiness, dry skin, and high sensitivity as compared to Vidhi's. And lastly, if we run Shruti's recs, which we had also previously run, we see that hers, which also showcases the model we used, just for some context, gave only one output, and that was Buffett and Cooper. And even though there are commonalities, this does showcase the fact that each of our individual models were tailored to meet the needs that we wanted. And with that, I hand it back to Vidhi to showcase or to talk about the things we learned.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that amazing demo, Arunima. So throughout this hackathon, me and my team have learned a lot. Over the 24 hours, we learned how to use SCASP along with Prolog. We learned how to build the logic behind rules and build a recommendation engine. And we just want to say that this is not the end for our skincare recommendation system. In the future, we want to add more products from the hydration and emulsion portion to make a more complete layering guide, and also be able to generate a schedule for our users for the recommended layer guide and regimen. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to our presentation today.
And we hope you guys finally take a shot with skincare. Thank you very much.
Thank you.